What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. My name is Splattercat, and as always, we are saying a merry hi-do to the world of Craft the World, which we have crafted, which is then a crafted world, which is a world that has been crafted, and so forth. This diatribe, I could never end it. It could just keep going in an Abbott and Costello type way. However, I'm gonna keep away from that idea. I'm gonna play keep away for a little bit. Over here, it appears as though I've dug a little bit too aggressively. We've fallen through the floor. Let's grab some ladders, and we'll place those. And that should fix our problem slightly. There we are. I do wish that your imps, when you summoned imps, I wish that they were able to do your construction too, so they would come in here and put in the ladders and things for you, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. But that might be a little bit too much to ask from one spell. You don't want it to be too overpowered. We'll start mining out those minerals. We'll mine that out right there. I think we'll go down that way too to get at that coal. And you'll recall in the last episode, if I wanted to talk about what we had accomplished, we had cleared out the giant nest of termites that had been down in here, which is going to give us access to this giant haul o' minerals. There's lots of goodies in here. We're going to try and make use of all of them. What the hell are you shooting at right now? Oh, is he trying to shoot at the spiders, maybe? I think that's what he's shooting at, but he's stuck behind a wall. God. You, sir, why are you not sleeping? Go rest. We'll send him off and about his way. We'll grab that silver out of the wall, or mithril, or whatever the hell it is. I think it's mithril. And up there we've got a fuzzy bugger and what looks like another extension of a cavern. Over here we've got a huge, massive, ultimately amazing coal mine. So let's get in here and start mining some coal. And there's some other goodies at the end of it too, so that's a win-win. In all directions, that's a win. I don't know if winning is directional. I like to think that winning goes forward, but I think there are times where winning goes backwards too. It just sort of depends. I've yet to think of a title, or I've yet to think of a situation to make that talk more humorous, like a situation where going back is going forwards. But I guess, there you go, you play hockey. Sometimes to play hockey, you go backwards to go forwards. There we are, when you jump up on skates. Fantastic. I knew I could bring it out if I had to. Let's start mining. You guys said that I got 1 iron for every one of these red rocks, and I'm going to try that out right now, because iron is always one of those things that I'm completely and totally out of. We haven't fiddled around with this cavern just yet, and down here you know that there's a bunch of dragons that have ridiculous names that are typically what a volcano might sound like Brorg and Bloch, and I don't even know. I mean, dragon names are really, really difficult to pronounce if you've got this thing called a tongue that limits you in your ability to speak. I think dragons probably use telekinesis or telepathic powers to communicate with one another. That would be the way that I would do it if I was a big beefy dragon. You, sir, are doing something dumb right now, and I feel as though I should probably fix you. There we go, you've been fixed. We didn't even have to take you to the vet. Let's chop down those cobwebs so that we don't have any more spider problems in the future. They are keeping all of the flies out of here, and with the way my dwarves smell, it's not surprising to me that there aren't more flies down in here, but in that case, you know, we don't have a lot of use for the spiders anyways, because I've yet to see any flies. We do have fuzzy buggers, which are the same color as flies, but I don't think they're necessarily the same thing. Let me drop some more torches back in here. Back in this region, it appears as though we've unlocked another book, a carpentry book. Let's go through our crafting menu and figure out what we've got sitting around. We've got bricks. I guess at some point I made some bricks. So let's fill the bricks out and then we'll put the iron in. And that'll let us make this kind of trellis work or brick fence. Other things to look at. We wanted to craft the first piece of our portal too. We're going to do 1 piece of portal per episode. And so I think we'll start with the first portal part because I have a strong respect for continuity and going in the proper order. Also, it's a little OCD thing. Like if there's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, I have to go in order. I can't stop in the middle. Like sometimes people will be like, let's watch The Empire Strikes Back. And I'm like, no, I can't do that physically. It's not a thing that I am capable of. Unfortunately, I have to watch all of Hayden Christensen's terrible performances, then I have to watch the first film, and then I have to watch number 5. Like, we have to go in order. I can't start from the middle. It just can't happen like that. And all of a sudden, they're like, dude, you're shaking and sweating. Why don't you calm down a little bit? I'm like, well, you're making me stressed right now. You're making me feel as though you're going to make me watch things out of order, and that's not okay. We have steel. I was worried that I didn't have steel, but it appears as though we do, so that's fine. We need dark crystals. Do we have any of those? Indeedy we do. Need some gold ore, and I know we've got gold sitting around here somewhere. 2 stone, which should be easy to fill in, if it'll let me. A green crystal, and a bit of mithril. And so there's the first piece. So 1 episode away, we've made our first piece of the puzzle, which is going to take us to our next level. I'm going to back off that for now. In the next episode, we'll do the second one. And let's have a look at our patchwork mining operation here. There's got to be something else we can work on. I did want to watch them mine this red stone down here. So where did that go? Oh, good. We have another termite hive that I forgot about. That looks primed for destruction, though. We can drop like one fireball down in there, and it should take care of business for us. Here, mine that. I want to watch you mine that. That's all I want in life. I'm going to speed them up to 2 so that I can see them mine this red brick. And once I know that it gives me freebie iron, I think we're going to be made in the shade and smelling like Glade, so... Anybody? Somebody can mine my bricks. That sounds like a dirty euphemism. Like, yeah, I'd mine that guy's brick. I'd mine... God. That's awful. That is just awful. No, you guys were absolutely correct. Not that I doubted you in the first place, but I like to test things. I'm a skeptic. It's a personality flaw. We do get a piece of freebie iron for every little red brick. And do we get more XP too? No, it looks like we just get the 2. Very, very nice though. So that's definitely going to be helpful in the future because we need a lot of iron to do some of the stuff that's further on down the tech tree. I'm going to put in a medium duration portal somewhere in here, I guess. I could put one right there, but I'm going to avoid it. Sounds like we're under attack again. They're starting the music off. Let's go to our crafting tree and we'll look at... Oh, I needed to place that on the ground somewhere. I don't know if we're going to find that in our furniture menu. I always lose things. Every single time. So now that we've got the brick fence, I think I'll replace the wall on our toolbar there. And we'll just have somebody run on out and we'll place that right there and then we'll break it down. As we always do. Break it down. Dwarf style. Hammer it out. And there we go. We'll break it down right after. In our crafting menu, that opens up the opportunity to make silver picks, which only take raw silver. Which is okay, if I could ever keep things clicked properly. There it is. Put those few more logs. That is a lot of logs for one pickaxe. That must be an ogreish sized pickaxe. That needs to be forged. Let's take a look through the rest of our goodies here. I thought I saw something flagged in one of these menus, but I don't see it. Nope, doesn't appear to be flagged anywhere, which means I'm going to have to go to the crafting tree and figure out exactly where we're at. We can do an iron cage, which has a bird in it. I don't know if that makes us happier. I mean, the bird looks really, really grumpy. That's one of those things I pointed out in a previous episode. Like that girl, I said that girl. It could be a girl, but it could be a bird too. That girl bird is what I was alluding to. But anyways, that bird definitely has had somebody pee in his Cheerios recently. I didn't even know birds ate Cheerios, but I would assume that birds that eat Cheerios... Wait, that's not... That's strange. I think I just have to craft the bird. Because I think we found one as a result of like treasure out of a goblin hive, maybe? The goblin had a pet bird and we killed him and took it. Maybe that's why the bird's so grumpy. We killed his master, his only love in life. We took it from him. And now he has sworn to avenge his master. Look at that look on his face. That is a vengeful look right there. That is a look that says, I will slash your tires in your sleep. Oh my god, I did the wrong thing again. Why? Why do I insist on crafting so poorly? I'm just... Sometimes I really, really wish that the menu did not work the way that it works, where if you click it in here, I don't know. I think I'd probably screw it up either way, so I'm not going to say it. We only have one egg, which has been sitting in our stockpile a weirdly long time. I mean, it's smelling a little bit vulgar at the moment. But I suppose we can have a smelly bird hatch out of it. There it is. We've already placed one of those. Oh, it needs to be crafted. Well, hopefully when it finishes crafting, what I've noticed is the game seems to use some sort of like checklist system where you both have to craft and place it. So if we've already placed it, when we finish crafting it, it should pop out nice and quickly and everything should be okay. Let's go to our equipment menu, and I'm going to use some of these books. We've been amassing books lately. I'm going to start using these on some of the guys that they're useful for. My carpenter, we're going to level him up a bunch of times. We're going to make him amazing at everything. Our hunter... That's an archer book. That's completely and totally different. Where's my archer at? There he is. We'll give him some archery skills. We have a skinner around here somewhere. Or is that a, what is that, a hunter book? Okay, so we'll give him that. And so now that all of our books have been used up, how much gold do we have at the moment? We've got to have some gold around somewhere. 17. that's not as much as I'd like. I would love to buy some more mithril armor. You saw in one of our previous episodes, we bought him that armor that's like throbbing and it has crazy lightning veins running through it. Essentially, it looks like Quetzalcoatl's tummy if you plucked him. I was gonna say something more disgusting right there, but you can fill in the blank if you really want to. Here we go. It looks like Rama's forehead. That's how we could do it. I'm gonna make a Rama reference from Final Fantasy. I had to think about that one for a second though. I was like, who uses lightning in video games? I mean, you could obviously go with Thor. That's the obvious choice. But Thor doesn't have like lightning running through his veins. But Rama, he's got like the, you know, Rama I think in certain iterations had his veins where they would like be electrified. I don't remember though. It's been a long time since I played Final Fantasy. I was debating playing the new remake of Final Fantasy Online, which I beta tested. I lost my train of thought right there for a second. I beta tested it and I played it back when it first released, but I haven't played Final Fantasy 14, I think. I haven't played it since they did the giant retrofit. I've lost count of my numerals. I don't even know what iteration of Final Fantasy they're on anymore. It is considerably less final than it was before. That's how I'll leave it. Let's go to our crafting menu and see if there's anything else that we can make use of. They did make that pick, but we've got to equip it on somebody. So let's find our miner. There he is right there, and we will give him the bestest tool for the job. Nice. And so if the bird cage has been crafted, yes. Let me take a look at my inventory and we'll figure out if it's been made or not. Or we can just go to our crafting tree, I guess. Okay, so it appears as though it does need to be placed, even though we've already placed one. Weird. Well, we'll have 2 angry birds then. Go ahead and remove the palm in a pot to a different spot so that we can use this lot to trot out our new bird. And so there he is. And so maybe now they'll be friends. Then again, with how grumpy they are, we may have just started some kind of weird avian apartheid. I don't know. Nobody's gonna put the bird. The stockpile's right there, and nobody's gonna put the bird in. Really, you guys? Come on, Meow. What are you saying, Meow? You guys are killing me with this stuff. We're gonna pluck out some of these things because we do need some more crystals for the future, and I never know quite where they come from. I think they're from these little sprouts on the ground, so I'm gonna do my best to knock as many of those out of the earth as I can. Cool. So we've built 2 birds now who are pacing angrily. They're not pacing thoughtfully. They're not pacing introspectively. That's definitely an angry march. Now then, we've got 2 things we can do over here. It's a fountain, and so we'll put the relief in right there. And we've got a bit of water. That needs to be crafted, so we'll find the other thing on the menu here. An elevator. Interesting. That's a cool idea. I don't know if we're going to be able to use it, because most of my systems are already taken. I guess if it occupies 1 shaft's worth of space, we'll figure out how it works in the future. I don't know if we have to drill out some specific shaft for it that has like an arm in the background or anything, or if you just put it in empty space and it works on its own. You would assume that you'd need some kind of pulley system or something for it. Obviously we need gold ore for conductivity. We've got an extra wheel, a little bit of oil to make sure lubrication is handled properly, because you know what we say here in the Nerd Castle, you gotta keep it lubricated. And let's try and place that bad boy. Our elevator is the AJ of the group. He's the one with facial hair. Now then, let's figure out, this would be a cool place to test it, because we could connect the shaft and make it go all the way down to the bottom, maybe. Unable to build the elevator. I don't want the, you stop that right now. Okay, so let's remove the wooden hatch, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna remove all these ladders if I have to. We may have to do it from the bottom though, which will be super tedious. It's one of those things I wish I could do with my hand fingers, and do it all on my own without help from anybody or anyone. Alas, I remain dependent. Unable to build elevator here. Oh, it's big, okay. So it actually requires a pretty wide shaft. How large was that? Was that 3 spaces, or was it 2? It's 2 spaces. So what we might think about doing then is getting rid of that tree, removing all of this, so we go all the way down. And I don't know if this is gonna drop shaft along with it. If it drops shaft, then we'll be in pretty good shape. But if this is one of those weird tunnels that we're gonna have to prep for, it might be a little bit before we can make use of the elevator. That being said, I think it's a really badass idea to have a speedy elevator right here that can go to any floor and any level to make our lives a little bit easier. It'll also make dropping people off down here to fight with all these termites a tad less stressful. Let's start burning out some of these termites because we do have AoEs that make us capable of that. And now that we've taken the sting out of them a little bit, we'll flag all of these for death. Good, now that our termites have been terminated, that leaves us with a little extra safety space, and what I'll probably have to do is I'll probably have the elevator drop all the way down, and then we'll just cut a shaft this way so that we can get at that right there without any trouble. So let me kind of chart that out now so that I can make sure the floor is on the proper level. It'll also stock us up with some extra iron for the future, which is always good. Also some extra glass because we're going to be knocking out a bunch of sand here. I hear the sounds of invasion. Those tooting horns of the enemy, who never has a problem tooting his own horn. The undead, not really known for being braggartly, but they are quite bad braggarts. It's become pretty obnoxious. They've been hanging around the liquor hall. They've been like, ooh, I'm so awesome. I'm so awesome that death couldn't hold me. I'm so badass that hell was full when I got there, so they spit me back out like a nasty Necco wafer. And I'm like, you know what, you're not that special. That shouldn't make you proud that you're so dislikable that hell sent you back. Like, that's pretty awful. If you really kind of think about it, that's pretty terrible. We are going to need to remove these ladders from what I can tell, so let's do it from the bottom. And if they don't do this in order, it's going to be very, very stressful for me. And once those are done, let me try and place that one more time. Oh, never mind. I don't even need this to happen. Let's cancel. And we'll see how this goes. This would be very, very cool if this works out the way that I want it to. Now then, let's take a look at some of the other areas of our construction projects. A lot of this is refusing to be mined, which is weird. Then again, the game often confuses me, so, you know, every now and again you just can't get anything done. We've set the elevator. And that we'll pay attention to it right now. Ah, there it is right there. Very badass. That just comes with that? That's cool, and I think that's gonna work out in our favor, leaving the ladders there anyways. I wonder what is gonna happen if I dig out this layer below, though. See, that's what I was a little bit concerned about. Now it'll only go down to this level, and what I really want is to be able to... I guess we could put in a second elevator off on this side, so that it drops down a little bit more cleanly. So let's do that for now. There's not a lot of mining to be done to make that work anyways, so... I don't think you need to mine out the ceiling. Is it 3 tall? Yeah, it is. It's 3 tall. So I've got to cancel that mining job for just a second until we handle that mining job there. Awesome. I wish we had more dwarves. That's the one little thing that's been bothering me since we started playing, is that I feel like there's not enough dwarves. I feel like if we were at 15 or 20 right now, our work queue would be a lot better for how large the map is. So why are these not mineable now? These should be perfectly fine, my dwarfy friends. Like, oh, you're right. We're able to mine them. We were just being difficult. Now then. That's been laid there, and is looking quite pleased with itself. That's been mined out, and so now we'll mine out the bottom layers. And this is kind of a risky proposition because obviously he's gonna fall through and injure himself when he does this. Oh, he caught the wall. Did a little bit of cliffhanger action right there. Okay, well, I guess they're recalculating their path at the moment. I don't know what that means. I see that sometimes when they don't have a path, and then I see that sometimes when I feel like they're recalculating a path. At the moment, he shouldn't be confused because there's plenty of ways out of that pit. But then again, who even knows? Ah, I think the elevator may not be moving because the ladders are blocking it. It is nice that they can use the elevator to get this job done, though. That alleviates a little bit of the stress that was in the back of my mind about putting down the elevator. When I was a little kid, my sister wouldn't ride in the elevator because she thought, the first time she heard the word elevator, she thought somebody said alligator. And so she thought we were going to ride an alligator. Like, she literally thought there was going to be like some elevating, kind of levitating alligator somewhere in the world that would allow you to transverse floors. Now, I think personally the world would be much more interesting if we all had an alligator that lifted us into the air like a magic carpet. I would have no problem. I would reward my alligator daily. I would give him the finest steaks, and I'd be like, and the only cost to him is that he just has to take me up the stairs so that I can be a lazy bastard again. Kind of a small price to pay for endless alligator meat. It might be interesting to replace that ladder along the side, though, so that all this can be used as a bit of a service route. He's waiting right there. That is kind of interesting how it puts them all in a queue until the alligator comes back, until the elevator comes back. Talking about alligators, I ate alligator a while back. An alligator is the most delicious animal that has ever entered my body. And there have been many animals. My... Oh god, my freshman year at college was one of exploration. No, but of all the things that I have eaten, there have been many critters that I have put into my mouth and devoured, but alligator, I think, was among the most delicious. I do sort of wish this was off to one side a little bit further, but there's not much I can do about it at this point. We're gonna handle our invasion. Oh, it spawned on top of our own wall. How weird is that? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and flag everybody up for death here. The game is spawning so many mobs right now that it's lagging. Crazy. I think there's a bunch of weird pathfinding going on too. It may be due to the elevator? I don't know what's causing that right now. And speak of the devil, it crashed my game. That's what was going on. It literally crashed my game. So there's not gonna be a whole lot I can do there. Let's go ahead and we're gonna use that to leave it open. It looks like they still have to bust their way through it. But let's go ahead and trigger everybody for an attack. I'm not sure if we're crashing based on the fact that it's spawning too many enemies. I don't really know what's orchestrating that, but that seems to be a new contingency that's come along with one of the most recent patches, I guess. Let's go ahead and start the fight off. I'm gonna help out with some fireballs here. Add a little bit of a helping hand. Hopefully those don't hit my own dwarves. It doesn't look like they do. And now we have an amazing supply of bones, which will be helpful in the future. One thing I do know is that we need to kill off everything on the screen at the moment so that we don't lag out again, though. That was a little bit concerning. Now then, that's something that I'm gonna have to keep in mind for future playthroughs. We'll put bread in place. And we'll also fill a table with tea, maybe? Let's go to our crafting menu. We'll grab some of those teacups that we've left around. It's a distinguished drink, and if anybody puts their pinky up right now, that's what I like to see. So that right there, that is a bowl of tea, and that's the way that I would expect a dwarf to drink tea. None of this one finger up pinky nonsense. No, a dwarf drinks his tea out of a bowl, and he just slurps it down his face. He keeps it in his beard for later. That's why they call it a soup catcher. Now then, it looks like we are almost concluded here. No, it's still spawning more of them. I'm gonna go back to my dwarf menu and let's use a couple healing potions on people. We'll craft some more in just a moment if we need them, but for now, I'm gonna make use of the resources I have because I know I'm not always so efficient at using everything that's in my inventory. I'm always distracted when I make these. It's the concept that, or at least it's the challenge of keeping a monologue going, or a dialogue going, depending on whose perspective you're looking at this from. Keeping my whole mental talking spree going along as we play through the game is the difficult part. That's going to become an issue up here, so I may try and blast them off the walls. I have no clue what just happened right there. They're flying off into the sky. Okay. Interesting. I think we found a bug. The beholders appear to be able to do much more than levitate. They fly off into the sky fancifully if you shoot them with a fireball. Who would have known that they were primed for ignition? I didn't think we had like a NASA operation going on here, but I guess their asses must be made out of napalm or jet fuel or something. That's how they keep on floating. Jet-fueled flatulence. That's how, by the way, if you ever wondered how an octopus propels itself around, it's because it flatulates water underneath water. Like, it doesn't look like a fart and it doesn't sound like a fart, but it takes water in its rectum and it forces it out super hard, which I think is humorous as hell. Anyways, everybody appears to have gone through the food pretty rapidly over here, so I'm gonna restock the table. He doesn't want to eat bread anymore because he's being picky. Because we've got crashes and things occurring, I think I'm gonna break the episode off right here and do a little bit of investigation. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and take care out there, everybody.